The headlines. A dire warning about the near-critical situation in Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant under Russian control as they train for a crisis that some fear could be more serious than the Chernobyl disaster. Officials in Ukraine are warning that the situation at the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station is approaching critical. Emergency workers in the nearby city of Zaporizhzhia have been staging drills to practice cleaning operations in the event of radioactive contamination. Now, Russia took control of the nuclear plant, the biggest in Europe, you might remember, in early March, and there's been recent heavy shelling at and around the site, with both sides blaming each other for the attacks. Our correspondent James Waterhouse reports from the nearby city of Zaporizhzhia, where residents are on edge.
Ukraine's vast, rich landscape, full of produce, industry, but still under threat. We're being taken to see preparations for a worst-case scenario.
If you want to get anywhere quickly these days, this is how you do it. We are travelling very low to stay out of range of Russian missiles and aircraft. And you get a real sense of just how vast this country is.
In Zaporizhzhia, they're training for a crisis which some fear could be more serious than the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, the worst ever. The region's power plant further south has been under Russian control since early March, and officials say the situation is approaching critical.
It's changed dramatically, and of course we are concerned. That's why we are here. That's why we created this group. That's why we are involved in everyday communication with this.
It's impossible to ensure the safety of the nuclear power plant while the Russian occupying forces are there. This is the key concern that we all need to clearly understand.
There are growing concerns that Russia has been using it as a military base. The city of Enerhodar, where the plant is, has seen recent heavy shelling. Both Ukraine and Russia blame each other. Elena has just escaped from there with her children and just wanted to get out.
There has been many more explosions, and it became much more dangerous to stay there. I didn't want to leave home, but when it became unbearable, I had no other choice.
The NATO alliance is the latest voice to call for international inspectors to be let into the plant. With Ukraine unable to force the Russians out, it's instead preparing for the worst, if it happens. James Waterhouse, BBC News in Zaporizhzhia.